Hi. More Cowbell, the Mississippi State podcast, and my podcasting voice here in the SEC Country Studios. It's the SEC Country podcast. I do it every single day. I'm very happy to be here. Got my beautiful cowbell. Look at that shirt. Got my cowbell shirt. A lot of cowbell on this desk right now. A lot of cowbell going on up here. Got it on my shirt. Got the new arrangement. I'm just trying it out. I don't know. But now that I've got 8 cowbells, now that I've had fans of the show and people of the show reach out and give us so many gifts, that I've just decided to go full cowbell across the desk. We're 8 deep. 8 deep here on cowbells, on more cowbell. Got the Junction Bell from Maroon & Company. And got the Mossy Oak Bell, which is also a battle bell. Got this one right here, the Mississippi State Pinstripe Bell. Got the original battle bell. Steve C. sent this in. Got mine from 1991. Bonnie Williamson Gable sent this beautiful thing in right here. This is the DAC Bell, which is not on camera right now. I don't know what Landshark's doing. And we got the Lefty Bell over here, also got from Maroon & Company. So we got the whole Bell family. That's what we got. Now, on today's show, we're going to talk about quarterbacks. We're going to talk about quarterbacks for most of the show. We're going to talk about Nick Fitzgerald. Athlon has come up with its ranking of all 130 Division I starting quarterbacks. And frankly, I thought Nick Fitzgerald got a pretty good ranking. I thought he got a fair ranking. I thought he got about where I would put him. So that's rare that Mississippi State gets a fair ranking. Terp, why are you doing that? Are you cold? You've gone full housewife on me. You've put your arms into your shirt. Okay.
In the studio.
So hello everybody. I haven't got any comments yet. Everybody's here, but I don't have any comments yet. Is something wrong with my Facebook Live? Everything good?
We were having trouble earlier with
it's
laptops.
Being weird.
It works on your phone. If you have your phone.
I don't have my phone. My phone's at my desk.
My phone works. I can go get your phone for you if you want to do that.
You're gonna need to go get my phone. I'm gonna be able to, if I'm gonna read people's
All right,
comments.
I'll BRB.
Don't ever do that again. I got to read people's comments. I see that they're there. I see that we've got 100 people in, but I can't see comments. So I need to stretch out right now. Is that what you're telling me? Refresh. I need to refresh my browser. Is that what you're telling me? All right. This is good TV right here. It's good stuff. There are the comments. You're so smart. Hello from Tupelo, Joshua Watts, Betty Anderson. Huh? Go get my phone, Turp. Hail State from Summerall, Mississippi, Betty Anderson. Point City checking in, David Perry. Good to see you, David. So Facebook is being a little difficult this morning, I'm not going to lie. But we're going to get through it. We are going to get through it. We're going to have fun. You can comment. I can't necessarily see them, but hopefully you can. And we'll deal with what we got to deal with. Now, on today's show, we're going to talk about quarterbacks, Nick Fitzgerald. We'll talk about all of that. Nick Fitzgerald ranked 10th in the country by Athlon as a starting quarterback. I'll rank the SEC quarterbacks myself because, hey, I'm not lazy. I'm going to go ahead and do it myself and see what I think about the SEC quarterbacks this year. And we'll talk about Mississippi State's basketball scholarship situation. It looks like, they've got an opportunity to add someone for the future, and they might do it. Will Salmon for the Clarion Ledger had something very good on this morning. I'm going to talk about that. And at the end of the show, I got to apologize. No 2-minute drill today. No 2-minute drill. Sorry, no 2-minute drill. Instead, we're going to have a shot of Jack at the end of the show. Jack Crystal clips, because this is a quarterback show. We're going to have Jack Crystal clips. We'll have 4 of them. 4 quarterback-centered Jack Crystal clips as we celebrate the greatest to ever do it. And I'm not trying to ignore you. I'm just trying to get comments up on my phone because that's what you do. In this day and age, you look at things on your phone. I feel like a 7th grade girl over here texting my BFF. I don't have a BFF, but if I did, I would text her. I'm not sure she would be a girl. Terp, how you doing, buddy? You good?
Yeah, I'm all right.
I'm sure we got Lynn Rhodes Gilmer checking in from Sullivan, Alabama. Got Jessica Elm Balsley, I bet. She's checking in from West Virginia. Michael Clyburn probably down in Hazelhurst. Steve C. checking in from wherever he checks in. Kenny Manning just says a random town name every day. So we'll talk about Nick Fitzgerald. We're going to get to the show very shortly. I'm just kind of stalling for time. That's exactly what I'm doing right now. I am stalling for time to try to pull up this video.
Can you figure it out? Do you need me to do it for you?
A little bit. I mean, I'm trying to get it up.
Are you on Facebook on your phone?
No, I went to Hotmail.
Well, that's your first mistake.
Yes, I'm on Facebook. What do you think?
I can find it at hotmail.com.
No, I'm on Facebook. Yeah, but I don't see. Yeah, okay, there it is. I got it. Chill out. It's not opening. You know, they told me not to go into business with you guys. They told me not to deal with Terp. Look, press play there. Press play. You figure it out. I don't have the app. Should we? No, we're not going to start over. We're not going to start over. We're going to talk about Nick Fitzgerald. What? You just exited out and let. I am having a good time. I'm enjoying myself. I have my Cowbell shirt here. I've got my Lefty bell. I got my Dak bell. I got Bonnie Williamson's bell that she sent me. I got this beautiful bell right here. Are you coming to help now, or are you going to give me your phone?
You're getting her phone.
Oh, I'm getting her phone. Oh, great. I'm going to get texts from sorority girls all day. Not like I wasn't already. But it's great. I'm going to get texts from Muffy and Buffy and Willie Jane. All right. There we go. Huh? Your screen is cracked.
So is mine.
Got to ring the new bell today. Hey, Wade Glass. How you doing, buddy? Stephen Turner says this is fine. Brandon is a MySpace denizen. I miss MySpace at this point. We should put this show on MySpace. Is that even humanly possible? Just go back, be the only people on MySpace. Go Dogs from Asheville, Barry Moore. Hello, Barry Moore in Asheville, North Carolina. Got a couple dogs that watch the show from Asheville, North Carolina. There's a lady that watches from Asheville. Bob Giles is often here. Karen Morgan DeWeese, Hail State from Petal, Mississippi. Hello, Karen. Good to see you. Thank you for being on the show today. I appreciate it. Ginger Tuck, I'm on my phone. It works great. Congratulations, Ginger, for having a phone that works. Apparently my phone doesn't work. My phone doesn't work, but so that's my life right now. Sitting out here with a pink phone from an Ole Miss sorority girl. That's congratulations, universe. You win. I guess we should just go ahead and dive into the podcast. Hail State from Una, Traquan Key. Grace Thacker Good says we're all here. What are you doing? Yes.
Just make sure it doesn't lock itself. Great episode today.
This is a good episode. We're going to go right to the podcast. We're going to talk about Nick Fitzgerald. We're going to talk about him being – hang on, because we do have a shot of Jack at the end of the show. We do have something very, very good at the end of the show. We have something you guys love and like, and you need to watch it. So if you're checking on Twitter or Facebook Live, or if you're watching on YouTube, stick with us because the end of the show is going to be great. Now, Ray Leno says, let's ring in the podcast. I couldn't agree more. Please, God, get me to the podcast. Terp, let's go.
It's the More Cowbell Show, brought to you by SEC Country. And now, your host of the More Cowbell Show, Brandon Walker.
Hi, More Cowbell, the Mississippi State podcast, operating flawlessly from the SEC Country Studios here in beautiful Atlanta, Georgia on a Wednesday. I am so excited to be here. We're going to talk about quarterbacks. We're going to talk about Nick Fitzgerald. We're going to talk about SEC quarterbacks. I'm going to tell you what Athlon thinks of Nick Fitzgerald, where they have him ranked in the top 130 of starting quarterbacks in the country, and we'll talk about my personal SEC rankings. After quarterbacks, we'll get to Mississippi State basketball, which has a scholarship available. They have a scholarship available after losing a couple of players to transfer. Mississippi State has a scholarship to play with. And Will Salmon of the Clarion Ledger has an excellent article today about what they might do with that scholarship, playing for the future. So that's an interesting thing to talk about. Sue Thigpen checking in from West Point, Mississippi, home of blues legend Howlin' Wolf. No, Sue Thigpen, no. West Point, Mississippi is not home of Howlin' Wolf. I mean, it is, but West Point, Mississippi is home of this guy, Brandon Walker. That's what West Point, Mississippi is home of, Point City. We'll get to all that, and at the end of the show, no 2-minute drill today. Instead, a shot of Jack. We honor the best that ever did this, the best that ever sat in front of a microphone in college football, the best play-by-play announcer that ever wore a college football team's uniform, not his uniform, obviously, but team's colors. Jack Crystal was the greatest that ever did this. We'll have 4 Jack Crystal clips at the end. They'll be quarterback-related to tie into the show. Let's get right to it. If you're watching on Facebook, you can see all these beautiful cowbells in front of me. This is more cowbell. I got 8 bells out here. You can get the junction bell. You can get the lefty bell here. You can get this shirt, this beautiful cowbell shirt I'm wearing right now that is kind of clean, kind of not. You can get that at Maroon & Company on Highway 12 in Starkville, Maroon & Co. on Twitter, maroonandco.com. Check it out. Mother's Day coming up. Get your mother something nice. Get your wife something nice. Get everybody something nice. You know what? Tell them I sent you. Get yourself something real nice. Just real nice. All right. Nick Fitzgerald. Nick Fitzgerald is Mississippi State's starting quarterback. He's been that way since 2016, the second game of 2016. After losing to South Alabama, and Mullen stupidly didn't start him the first game, or stupidly took him out of the game. But now he's a starting quarterback going into his 5th year on campus, 4th year playing at Mississippi State. And Athlon, the national football publication that always takes over the summer, they always have something nice going on in the summer because they do their magazine. So they decided to rank all 130 starting quarterbacks in the country. Nick Fitzgerald came in at number 10. And I think that's pretty good. I think that's pretty fair to Nick Fitzgerald. I think that makes a lot of sense. I think, I don't know if I would put him at 1 or 2. But certainly Nick Fitzgerald at number 10 is a lot of respect. I'll read what they said. It's on the screen if you are watching. Fitzgerald was limited in the spring due to a leg injury suffered in the Egg Bowl against Ole Miss. However, the Georgia native is on track to return to full strength for the fall. That's what I've heard as well. And should thrive under new head coach Joe Moorhead. I agree with that. In his second year as a starter, Fitzgerald threw for 1,782 yards and 15 touchdowns and added 984 yards and 14 scores on the ground. The senior is still developing as a passer, that's true. But Moorhead should help him take a step forward in his final year in Starkville. That is also true. Everything they said was a very, very good recap of Nick Fitzgerald heading into his senior year. I'll look at the list, looking at the list of where they kind of put the quarterbacks from the SEC in this list. Now, they got some wrong. How you take a half of Tua Tagovailoa and say he's the number 2 quarterback in the country, I'll never know. And listen, he might be, but I don't know how a half where he threw an interception and, he made the big throw at the end and he's a lot better than Jalen Hurts. I'll give him that. But number 2 in the country? Wow. That is extreme. Drew Lock from Missouri, number 6. I have no problem with that. Jared Stidham, Auburn, number 9. I have no problem with that. Fitzgerald, number 10. I've already said I have no problem with that. Jake Fromm from Georgia, 11. 14, Jake Bentley from South Carolina. And it goes on and on down the list. Jordan Teamu from Ole Miss, 29th. Nick Starkle from A&M, 42nd. And then you get to the teams without quarterbacks that are down in the 90s and 80s. So Nick Fitzgerald, considered by Athlon one of the best quarterbacks in the SEC, one of the best quarterbacks in the country, and he very, very much is. Now, what does it look like for Nick Fitzgerald to take the step forward necessary to climb up in these rankings? What does it look like for Nick Fitzgerald to become one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the country, one of the top 7 quarterbacks in the country? I think it has more to do with the pieces around him than it does Nick Fitzgerald himself. Now, he does have to take a step forward with his accuracy, and he does have to take a step forward with reading defenses, stuff like that. But those are natural steps forward that any quarterback is going to make from his junior to senior year. But I think it's the pieces around him that play more of a role. Last year, I don't know how you could accurately judge Nick Fitzgerald because he was throwing to tiny receivers who couldn't get open and couldn't catch the ball when they got open. I don't know how you can judge Nick Fitzgerald based on the receiving core that took the field last year. If it had been a fully healthy Donald Gray and Gabe Miles all year, maybe. But otherwise, it was really difficult. I mean, Mississippi State played Alabama, the best team in the country. Nick Fitzgerald played them almost to a standstill, and he didn't have his top 3 receiver. What do you say about that? So I think he needs a wide receiver group that can, A, get open, and B, catch the ball when they're open. If he has that, now we can accurately decide what he is as a passer. And I think he's going to take a step forward as a passer. He is going to have better weapons in 2018 than he had 2017. Stephen Guidry is going to be the number 1 receiver. Devontae Jason could play a role as a freshman. Guys that were already on campus, good step forward. Austin Williams certainly looked good in the spring. I think Nick Fitzgerald will have the benefit of more weapons in 2018. What else does he need? He needs a coach who is not going to use him as a power running back. He needs a coach who is not going to use every 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3 as an opportunity to turn Nick Fitzgerald into a battering ram. He needs a coach that is going to protect him, is going to keep him upright. I think he's got that now. Now, not Marty McSorley, he's a hockey player. Trace McSorley at Penn State ran the ball a lot last year, but he also threw the ball 200 more times than Nick Fitzgerald did. I think Nick Fitzgerald is now going to throw the ball a lot more, and he's going to run the ball less. And he's going to run the ball in less stressful situations. I don't think, with Aries Williams there and Kylan Hill, I don't know why Nick Fitzgerald has to be the power running back on this team. I don't know why he had to be that last year. 4th and 1 from the 1, it was always Nick Fitzgerald taking that punishment. You got Aries Williams right there. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. And he needs a coach that can provide him opportunities in the passing game. Like I just said, McSorley passed over 200 more times. I think Nick Fitzgerald had 286 attempts last year. McSorley had 284 completions. Moorhead is going to throw the ball a lot. He's going to throw it down the field. He's going to give Nick Fitzgerald every single opportunity under the sun to improve. He's going to throw it to every receiver. He's going to throw it to tight ends. He's going to come up with a scheme that's much more friendly to Nick Fitzgerald taking a step forward than the one he was in previously. Now, Fitzgerald needs to get sharper and more accurate. He does need to do that. But Dak was more accurate as a junior than a sophomore. He was more accurate as a senior than a junior. Fitzgerald can take that step forward. I don't want to get in the first round talk. Can Nick Fitzgerald be a first round pick? Yeah. Is he right now? I don't know. But the draft isn't tomorrow, so what's the point of that discussion? Now, looking at the SEC quarterbacks, I think Athlon was pretty fair here. I think they were pretty fair, although I would move Tua way down. They had Tua at number 2. They had Locke at 6. They had Stidham at 9. And they had Fitzgerald at 10, and on and on and on. I think Stidham. I think Stidham is number 1. Stidham at Auburn. I hate Auburn. You guys hate Auburn. Auburn is a terrible place. But Auburn with Stidham, I think Stidham is the best quarterback in the SEC. I thought that last year, and I think that this year. Drew Lock would be my number 2. Drew Lock is a very good quarterback at Missouri. I think he's going to be one of the top 10 picks in the NFL draft. He's an outstanding quarterback. And then I would slot Nick Fitzgerald in at number 3. When I have a vote at SEC Media Days, I'll have Fitzgerald as the third-team All-SEC quarterback in the preseason. I would not have Tua Tagovailoa, who will be there. I would not have Jake Fromm, who is going to get voted there, because Alabama and Georgia media members will be all over this thing. They're going to get voted in the top 3, and neither one should. Tua could be there at the end of the year, but how do you judge him by half of football? And Jake Fromm, my gosh. I would have Tua number 4 behind Fitz. I would have Jake Bentley from South Carolina number 5. I would have Fromm number 6. Fromm's going to be the most overrated player entering the SEC in some time. He's going to be the most overrated player in some time. Georgia is about to learn this year what Alabama learned last year about Jalen Hurts. He's not nearly as good as you want him to be, and he's not nearly as good as the teammates around him made him look. Georgia was an elite football team last year that was able to get by without elite quarterback play, and I'm not sure they're going to be that this year. Jake Fromm, entirely overrated. Number 7, I would have Jordan Teamu. 8, Nick Starkel. 9, Kyle Schumer from Vanderbilt. And then after that, you get into the teams that don't have quarterbacks, like Florida doesn't have a quarterback. You could rank Felipe Franks if you want to. What's the point? LSU doesn't have a quarterback. What's the point? Kentucky doesn't really have a quarterback. Arkansas has had the same non-quarterback for years. Tennessee, I don't know. Are they even fielding a football team this year? Men's basketball, Mississippi State men's basketball scholarship situation. So 2 players have transferred, Eli Wright and Xavier Stapleton. You already brought in Jethro Shasumpa, 6'10" backup center, who you need to back up Abdul Adu, and it's going to be good. But Howland has a scholarship to play with right now. Does he want to bring in a grad transfer to help this team next year? And Will Salmon of the Clarion Ledger had an article today saying that, no, that might not be the case. And I agree. Mississippi State is loaded for 2018-19. They kind of need to use this scholarship to build for the future, because you can bring in a 1-year player, and what does it really do? What does it really do? Like, that player might not even crack the rotation. You've already got 9 guys that you're going to be, 9 or 10 guys you're going to be trying to get playing time for. You don't really need to add another one who might not get playing time. So what Mississippi State has hosted recently, Prince Aduro, I hope I'm saying that right. I know I'm not. A 6'8", 253-pound power forward transfer from Siena, who played 1 year there, was an all-conference selection as a freshman, all freshman conference selection, excuse me. He's not a grad transfer. He's a freshman that's going to have to sit a year and then play 3 years. Again, 6'8", 253-pound power forward, averaged 9.5 points, 6 rebounds as a freshman. He'd be Reggie Perry insurance. Reggie Perry is the 5-star forward from Georgia. He might only be here a year. Might be here 2, but he might only be here a year. And Eric Holman, your other power forward, you know he's gone after this year because he's a senior. So this guy, you bring him in, you let him practice, and then boom, 2019-20, he's ready to roll. It makes a lot of sense that Howland could use this scholarship for the 2019-20, 21-22 seasons instead of this year, because this year I think he's got his team locked and ready to roll, and now he's just looking, what if Reggie Perry leaves? What happens when Eric Holman leaves? Just make sure he's got the tank full for when that happens. A smart use of a scholarship if it indeed happens for Ben Howland. Now, no 2-minute drill today. No 2-minute drill whatsoever. We are going to do my favorite thing we do on the show. And if you've never watched this show, if you're new to this show, or if you watch the show all the time, this is probably either going to be or already has been your favorite segment on the show. This is the segment that gets the most props on Twitter and other places. Jack Crystal was the greatest who ever did it in college football, the greatest who ever sat behind a microphone. You can have your Wards, your Munsons, you can have your Keith Jacksons, you can have everybody. Give me Jack Crystal and a pack of cigarettes, and I'm going to have a good Saturday. The cigarettes are for him, not for me. Jack Crystal was the best announcer in college football history, and we had him for 55 years on the sideline at Mississippi State. So, this quarterback show today, I decided to go back through the archives and pull some quarterback-related clips to hear Jack Crystal call some of the great quarterback-related moments in Mississippi State history. I was able to find 4, and maybe you're going to think of some that I didn't think of, but I only had 37 clips available to me. What do you want me to do? So, Terp, if you are ready, let us roll clip number 1.
Bulldogs are going to go to the shotgun formation. They've got Justin Griffith in the backfield alongside Wayne Matkin. He's heading for the corner. Matkin's going to run it. Matkin gets to the end zone, scores! Matkin scores, and the Bulldogs win the ball game in overtime, winning it 43-41. Wrap this one in Mississippi State maroon and white.
Jack Crystal calling the Snow Bowl in 2000. Mississippi State, well, actually, was it 2000? Was it the last day of 2000 or the first day of 2001? I can't remember. But it was the 2000 season when Mississippi State played Texas A&M in Shreveport, Louisiana. It snowed a lot, and Mississippi State wins 43-41 when Wayne Matkin, the quarterback, runs for a touchdown. I don't know how they knew because the goal line was covered up, but Wayne Matkin runs for a touchdown, and Jack Crystal with an excellent call of what happened that day. Clip number 2.
At their own 38 now, and they'll come wide to the right after gambling for the long gainer. Lewis Clark wide to the right, a slot back fit in that direction. Tennessee shifting their secondary defense as Clark goes in motion. Here's the inside option play. Don Smith breaks it, goes down the sidelines at the 40, racing to the 30, to the 20, to the 10. Touchdown, Don Smith.
Yes. Woo! Sorry. I didn't mean to yell in the mic. It's going to happen, though, when we play Jack Crystal clips. Don't look at me like that. How could you not get fired up when you hear Don Smith running down the Tennessee sideline in 1986? Quarterback Don Smith, I believe from Hamilton, Mississippi. I can still see it today. I was 7 years old. I was at Tibby Creek. We were going trike lining that day. My dad was drunk, and it was a Saturday afternoon, and Don Smith ran and the radio, and my dad stepped on a snake. Anyway, long story. If you ever see my dad in prison, tell him you heard that story. Now, that was great. I love that Don Smith clip. Clip number 3.
25 seconds left to play. Bulldogs have 2 more shots at the end zone if they don't lose possession on 3rd down. They're at the 11-yard line. This crowd is alive. Wyatt from the shotgun, 2 backs alongside. Auburn in a 4-man front. Wyatt gets the ball. Wyatt back to throw. Wyatt looks. Fires toward the end zone. Passes. Caught for a touchdown by Matthew Butler.
Matthew Butler, Jack, what a catch! I thought that was going to be intercepted. The defender for Auburn jumped in front of Butler and went through his arms, and Butler gets it, John Carrero.
Steve, you're exactly right. We got
penalty for
I did not plan properly for listening to this because my blood pressure is up right now. My adrenaline is going. I could go toe to toe with Mike Tyson right now, as long as Mike Tyson was like 65 years old and in a wheelchair. But man, I'm not gonna yell at Mike. I'm not gonna yell at Mike. That, of course, 1999, Mississippi State down 16-3 to Auburn. They come back in the last 3 minutes. Matt Wyatt throws a couple of touchdowns. I hate to give Matt Wyatt props for anything because he's just the absolute worst, but one of my favorite football memories of all time right there, and called expertly by Jack Crystal. Now, clip number 4.
Bulldogs with 3 wide receivers. They've got a 4 wide receiver package now. Again, Matkin ready to work. Drops back to throw. Sets up. Is being hurried. Fires it upfield. Pass is caught. And driving toward the goal line and scoring. It's C.J. Simone. He was wide open, Jack, about the 15-yard line.
I'm going to ring a bell. I just had to ring a damn bell. That's what I had to do. Sorry. I didn't know what to do. It was time to ring a bell. That, of course, the 1999 Egg Bowl. Again, down 20-6 in the fourth quarter. Incredible comeback. Wayne Mackin, 38-yard touchdown pass to C.J. Sermons. Rest in peace. C.J. Sermons scores the touchdown and ties the game, and then you know what it set up. But Jack Crystal calling those 4 quarterback-related plays. I got to say, I don't know why we haven't been doing a shot of Jack every single week. That's the best thing we do. That's the best thing I've ever come up with. I'm not a very smart person. I'm not creative. But doing that is so fun. I don't even care if we film it and record it and send it out to people. I just want to do it. I might just do it in my garage from now on. I don't have a garage, but if I did, I'd swear I would do it. I'm going to drop the podcasters off here. I do have you on Facebook Live. I can read your comments now on this pretty pink phone that I've got in my hand. So stick with me. We're going to talk. We're going to get through this. I appreciate you listening on the podcast. We're going to have Steve Robertson on the show tomorrow to talk recruiting. Please come back. Until next time, my name is Brandon Walker. You've been listening to More Cowbell, the Mississippi State podcast presented by SEC Country. Man, Steve Whitehead says, cold night, unbelievable. Karen Morgan DeWeese, she was there. I was not there that night. I was 20 years old. I was dating a girl. She didn't want to go, so we rented Can't Hardly Wait. And she watched the movie. You know what? Maybe it wasn't Can't Hardly Wait. I think it was Never Been Kissed. And she went in my room and she watched the movie, and I stayed out and watched the Egg Bowl in my living room in my house. And it was unbelievable. Unbelievable. Kurt Dickens says Jack Crystal was the greatest. Yes, Kurt Dickens, you were absolutely right. The absolute greatest. Wayne Porter was there. What website do you get the Jack clips, Troy Harper? That is on. That's actually a page right now that is pinned on sixpackspeak.com somewhere. I don't know if it's in the archives. I think it's in the archives. If you go to the archives board, you'll find it. It's about Chris Williams. I hope you dumped her. We did not end up together. I'll just say that. Although she dumped me, and it was a crippling depression that took over me for about 2 years. That phone puts Brandon in touch with his feminine side, says Steve C. That's just mean. 1999 Egg Bowl, Wade Glass was his last as a college student. How awesome would it have been to have heard Jack call Dak's run against LSU? Thomas Loftus. Yeah, I agree. Dak's run against LSU is iconic, and I love Jim Ellis. God bless Jim Ellis. Great announcer. That was not a good call. He messed that call up. If we had Dak around or Jack around to do that call of Dak, well, that's hard to say. That would have been incredible. Mackin and Wyatt games were a ton of fun. Last second wins, yes, they were. Yes, they were. They were heart-stopping. I guess they were fun looking back. I'm not sure how fun they were in the moment. We were down 16-3 with 4 minutes left. Or we, had to have a 4th and 25 or 4th and 15 or all that. But, yeah, going back. Brian Rogers says, are you going through her pictures? No, I'm not. I'm not. I'm just using Landshark's phone. I was at 4 of the 5 games, all classics, says Scott Carr. 99, 4 of the 5 games, we only did 4 games, though. We only did 4 games just now. Yeah, we did the That Tennessee Don Smith run was probably the first great Mississippi State moment I remember in my life. I can remember my dad actually pulling his truck up to the back of Dudy Noble Field. I don't know what year it was. I think it was 85. I remember sitting on the back of his old green Chevy in the old original left field lounge. But I can't really remember anything specific about what happened. I can remember Don Smith running down the sideline of Tennessee in 1986. That's the first thing I remember. A great Jack call was State versus Bama in 1980. Yeah, it was a great call. Didn't fit today, but it was a great call. We've done it on the show before. One of my favorites was 2004 Florida. Jay Hammers says, if they throw a flag, I'll shoot them. That was an incredible call. And spoken from the heart. I mean, he wasn't actually going to shoot them, but if they had called a celebration penalty after all Mississippi State had been through the last 4 years while beating Florida, it would have been just a travesty. Make her background state-related and post Go Dogs on her Facebook status update. I could do that. Am I commenting as Land Shark right now? Oh, I am. Boy, this opens up an entirely new avenue of possibilities. Don't know if Past Jack would last in today's PC world. No, there was definitely, that was back when men were men. Sandra Hassel is tuned in. Thank you, Sandra, for watching. I appreciate it. Still got 130 people hanging on. I apologize for the Facebook technical difficulties. That's never happened. Did this happen on Dog Nation Daily as well? Boy, we don't need that to happen on SEC Country Live.
No, we don't.
Dynamite drop in, Terp.
Right on it. Let me fix it.
That's why you're the best in the business.
The GOAT.
Jack used to be the only way to catch a Bulldog game because they weren't aired on TV. Great memories. Certainly. Yeah. Yeah. Now the radio announcer doesn't hold the place that he used to hold. And TV, I mean, football's gotten better because you get to see every single game your team plays, but there was something to be said about sitting in your room or sitting outside on the porch listening to Jack Crystal call these games. I have a lot of Jack Crystal memories that I don't even have clips for, but I can remember listening to him when we beat Southern Miss in 1989 when Tony James had a long kick return. Might not have been Tony James, might have been somebody else. I can remember running through my house and scaring my parents who were not listening to the game. I can remember, like I said, out on the creek, Tibby Creek, with my dad's truck playing the game over the radio as we're trying to get hooks ready to go run trot lines, which that tells you how Mississippi I am if you know how to run a trot line, and I do. Maybe use no Ray Leno. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna video kill the radio star, says Steve C. Yeah, there's certainly an element of that. Now, it's better to watch football. It's better to be a football fan in these days where you get to see every single thing your team ever does. But again, there's some sort of it was really nice. Really nice. A lot of great memories listening to Jack Crystal. Listening to Jack was better than watching any game on TV that I've ever seen, says Jay Hammers. Hail State from the Rio Grande, says Russell Berry. Ah, the Rio Grande. Ohio. Beautiful country. Nothing. It's in Texas, guys. Never mind.
Yeah, I was questioning that.
In your mind? But you weren't. You weren't confident enough in it to
be like, that's not no Ohio.
Right. I would mute the TV and listen to Jack. The delay on TV was annoying, though. Jamie Arney. Mac McBrayer says, I remember him talking about eating hot dogs at the game. Yeah. Not you, Turp. Jack Crystal, the great Jack Crystal. Should have had the call in the last play of State's last play when they beat number 1 Bama 6-3 in Jackson. This was a quarterback. Stop telling me what I should have had. This was a quarterback related thing. Okay, we've had the Bama play before on the Shot of Jack. We're not going to play it every day. I still have the 6-3 Bama win on cassette, says Charles Bryan. I bet that is something. I don't have it on cassette. There was a, and I don't have it, but when Sid Salter wrote his biography of Jack Crystal, I didn't like the book, but that's another thing. But they included a DVD or CD of a lot of Jack Crystal's great calls. I wish I had that CD. I don't have it right now. After the main loss, Jack said we would be at LSU if anybody cares. It was classic. James Douglas says I'm 57, so I remember a lot of Jack Crystal games. Oh, hey, by the way, I forgot to mention this earlier. Land Shark, I need the camera to go right in front of the desk here. Can we get the panel right up there? Is there a panel there? So Dog Nation, which is the Georgia show, has this beautiful panel on the front of the desk. It's not up there now. Right now, you just see a black, see that black screen right there. I need somebody out there. Do you know anybody in your life that can help me make a panel for a sign for this desk that is 23.5 by 37.5? Can we figure out how to get me a sign? I want more Cowbell up on that desk. That's what I want. I want a more Cowbell sign right there. There you go. Thank you, Landshark. I appreciate that. Anybody know any sign makers out there? Anybody know anybody that can help me? 23.5 is the L, and the W is 37.5. I think that's length and width, I believe. Thanks. Do you have the Florida game when Jack says he will shoot the official if they take the touchdown away? I do. We've done that one before. We'll probably do it again. So if you know any sign makers, please put them in touch with me because I'm trying to class this joint up. I'm trying to take this place over. The MSU art department, says Ken Letson. How would it attach? It just slides in. There's some sliders there, Steve C. 2003 Sonic play of the game, my drive home to Tupelo. We didn't get past our own 35-yard line. I believe that was against Alabama when we lost 38-0 that day. Jared Williams Aiken says, LOL, you're going to get 15 different signs? No, just contact me. I don't want you to make a sign just willy-nilly. Just contact me, and then we'll work on it. You know what? She might be right. I just get a bunch of random signs that show up. Thickness. I don't know.
This is too complex.
This is too complex. Not thick. Not thick. It's just a standard,
Very specific.
Half an inch? No, it's not half
I
an
don't
inch.
think so.
Quarter of an inch. It could be a quarter of an inch. But it's a standard cardboard, or I don't know if that's cardboard, sign. What's your new email address? I forgot the password, so I gotta start my new. I'll let you know my new email address tomorrow. It was Kroom's last game. That was not the Sonic drive of the game. The Sonic drive of the game was 2003 Alabama. That was not the 2008 Egg Bowl. Sonic drive of the game was 2003 Alabama. I'm almost sure of this. Somebody says a Shrek poster. That's not what we're going. See, a Shrek sign's going to show up, isn't it? Poster board thickness, is Gray Stacker good? I don't know. It's just standard poster board. It's not a poster. It's a sign. You knock on it, it knocks back. Yeah. So we need to get on out of here, I think, because we've had technical difficulties today. You get to go to lunch. I have to do some work in here. I have to keep going. So we'll get on out of here, and I get to record some other stuff that you'll see very, very soon. So thank you for being here. We'll have everything fixed for tomorrow. I'm sorry about the comments. I'm sorry they drug a little bit. But, hey, you fight through. You just fight through. That's all you do. Until next time, and again, let me tell you, we'll have Steve Robertson on the show tomorrow to talk recruiting, and we'll talk about other things that might have happened this week in Steve Robertson's world. Otherwise, I'm going to drop you off here, and I'm going to go do some work. My name is Brandon Walker, and you've been watching More Cowbell, the Mississippi State podcast presented by SEC Country.